Week one of the Detroit Lions season is in the books for 2019. Definitely a disappointment.
Yeah, for sure.
from most Lions fans' opinions, but it's okay. We're gonna get into it. We are the real Lions fans. Just to start off, let's recap what happened in the game. So, Lions tied the Arizona Cardinals in overtime 27-27 after being up by 18 points in the fourth quarter. Matt Stafford looked great per usual. He had 385 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was killing it like always. 27 of 45. There's a stat like his play action pass was like incredible. He only missed one like play action pass, which is reminiscent of a couple years ago when we had like Theo Riddick and I think Joy Bell, and we had no run game, but he kept doing these like screen passes and stuff. And even though we had no run game, our play action pass was like top of the league, which is like pretty crazy. So honestly, I want to see more of that out of Matt Stafford. But let's talk more about the stats of this game first before we get into any of that. Kerryon Johnson ran. He had 16 attempts, 49 yards, which is like 3.1 on average. Really nobody. CJ Anderson, same thing, 3.2 on average. Our run game was pretty abysmal. Honestly, our O-line in general did not look good at all. And then we had some shining spots from our rookies, specifically like TJ Hawkinson. He got 6 receptions. Everybody knows this already. 131 yards, a touchdown, broke the record for like number 1 tight end in the first game. Yeah, he's killing it. Very happy for that guy.
Yep.
Danny Amendola got 7 receptions for 104 yards. That probably made some fantasy people happy. All right, let's. On the defense. Oh, okay. So the defense, yeah, our other rookie, Jelani Tavai, he got 3 solo tackles, tackle for a loss, and a sack, which is phenomenal. I thought he did great. Very impressed by him. Tyron Walker. No, is that his name?
Tracy Walker.
Tracy Walker. Yeah, I don't know why I blanked on that, but he had 9 solo tackles, tackle for a loss, and an interception, and 2 pass defense. 2 pass defended. Dude, he was a beast. I love that guy. And even Rashaan Melvin as our CB2, like we've been missing this when we've had Lawson for the past couple of years, and he had 8 total tackles and 3 passes defended, which is great. But the star of the defense was Devin Kennard with 3 sacks and 3 tackles for loss. Like, that guy is incredible. I love Devin Kennard. I'm so happy we got him a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I guess, let's talk about, so the way I wanted to structure this today was, 3 positive things and then 3 things that the Lions could definitely improve on, and I'm sure we have more than 3 on that one. And then we could talk a little bit just overall, analysis on the game. So why don't you go ahead with the 3 things that you liked to see in the game yesterday?
Well, first off, the offense was clicking. I mean, Hawkinson and Danny Amendola combined for 200-plus yards, a couple touchdowns. They were catching most balls their way. That was definitely a plus on top of the play-action pass. When Stafford got protection and our running backs picked up the blitzes and they covered those blocks, it gave Stafford the time in the pocket to make those deep throws. It allowed Danny Amendola to break open on that 48-yard touchdown. I saw a stat last year. It was that Stafford was top 3 in play action QBR. I mean, the dude is phenomenal in play action. Another positive thing I think was not really dropping any passes. Catchable passes,
Sure.
It seemed that every single ball was caught besides one that went to Galladay, and I think Stafford probably threw the ball 100 miles per hour.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that fastball. Yeah, seriously.
I mean, even the announcer, they were like, that was like a 96-mile-per-hour fastball. I don't think I've seen Stafford throw a ball faster than I did on that throw. And besides that, I mean,
you can sling it.
Yeah, for sure. Stafford was completing his passes. I mean, they were great throws. The drop passes has been a huge problem for us in years past. So that was a great thing to see. People are making their catches. Positive note 3, I think, was just our offensive play calls up until the fourth quarter. I think that Bevel started off a little iffy. Was calling, a lot of draws up the middle. Cardinals defense did a phenomenal job with their front seven to stop the run up the middle, and Kerryon Johnson is an outside the tackle runner. So when we were bouncing outside, I felt like they ran the ball a little bit better.
Yeah.
And I mean, they say that you call certain plays even if you know that they're not going to do so hot to set up the drive. So you could tell that Bevel was setting up the drive and not just one play. He wanted to get his team in certain situations because he knew they would execute. He did a phenomenal job of that. First quarter was a little slow, but I mean, we haven't had all our stars in preseason. But I liked what I saw. It was more creative. I mean, I've never seen Stafford do an RPO and run for a first down like he did.
Loved that, yeah.
So definitely the offensive play calling was nice strength. I mean, Jim Bob Cooter, as we all know, was a hero for his first tenure. And then after that, it was just dump passes, slant routes. I mean, didn't seem like we ever went deep. So to finally see Stafford do a lot of play action, which he's amazing at, get the ball in our playmakers' hands, I really like the play calls. So just set up the whole game.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, honestly, Jim Bob is a name we should not even bring up on the show. He should not be named. He's definitely like Voldemort.
Voldemort,
him, the Lions might, retract into that bad play calling. So let's not bring him up ever again.
Yeah. And actually, more strength. I thought our defense did a phenomenal job. I mean,
what part of our defense are you specifically talking about?
Well, I just honestly, the defense as a whole, first three quarters, it seemed like, it was just completely shut out. And the only points they really got was from our mistakes on offense or special teams. It wasn't from our defense just letting up big plays. I mean, Rashawn Melvin did a phenomenal job, even with him starting the game with a lingering injury and then re-aggravating it. And you had
still played great.
I mean, Kennard, freaking 3 sacks, dude. They were hurrying him up. They didn't really let him get out of the pocket and run. Our secondary did a pretty nice job. There wasn't many big chunk plays until the fourth quarter, but also that was, again, the coaching in the fourth quarter, a lot of prevent defense. And as we all know, when you play prevent, everyone's open. You give them more than 3 seconds or even around 3 seconds, someone's going to get open, big chunk plays. But first 3 quarters, phenomenal job on the defense all around. So
yeah. All right. So, my opinion, definitely, we haven't talked at all about this game together before coming on here, so it's pretty cool that we have a little bit of different opinions. But I'll get into that when we talk about the negatives. So let me talk about my positives. So first one is the obvious. It's Matthew Stafford, and he was just phenomenal. He got a fumble at the beginning of the game, but besides that, he was pretty much on point, and it's disappointing that they just didn't use him more, because I always feel that way. Like, even though this is this game, he had more yards than any game he did last year, which is that's surprising to me, because I feel like they could have used him so much more. But that's a positive to me, because going forward, you want to know that your quarterback is on point. And after a down year last year, like we knew as diehard Lions fans that was like an aberration, and that's not gonna be like indicative of his career, and like that's obviously a down year. That's not who Matt Stafford is. We know who he is, and like he's a beast. So I'm very happy that he showed that on the field yesterday. The second thing is our rookies. Just like I teased it earlier, but like Hawkinson obviously blew up. He was killing it, and he showed his value. Not just as a catcher, which we clearly saw. He was open anytime he wanted to be. He was getting separation. He was pretty much effing the defense up. And then Jelani Tavai looked great, stepping in for Jared Davis, stepping in for Jared Davis, and like starting at middle linebacker. That's tough for a rookie to do, and he stepped in. Yeah, he did a great job, man. Like, excellent job. And then I didn't even say this about Hawkinson. The other thing that he did that was phenomenal was when he would when they put him in blocking to assist Taylor Decker at the end of the game. That was great because you could see that like he immediately improved that side of the freaking O-line. So like he's clearly going to be a star in this league and on the Lions. I can't wait to see what happens with him. Love the guy already. Then the third positive thing I'd have to say is our secondary because like you already said, Rashaan Melvin doing great, Tracy Walker doing great. They really, Arizona's offense was clearly they're staying away from Darius Slay the whole entire game. Yeah. They're trying to stay away from Quandre Diggs because he made a couple big plays in the beginning, so then they're staying away from him the whole game. So really, like we needed Tracy Walker and Rashaan Melvin and even Justin Coleman to step up, and they did like big time. So loved our secondary. Okay, so since you went first on the positive, I'm going to go first on the negatives because you said some things in the positives I just don't agree with. So First of all, so you said the offense was a positive just overall, and I definitely disagree because we were inept at running the ball. We couldn't do it at all. Like literally, and you could say that's the play calling, but there's no way you can never run it up the middle. You have to run it up the middle sometimes, So since Frank Ragnow, I don't know if he's still hurting from his ankle injury. He might be. And then, we kept switching in Joe Dahl, Kenny Wiggins, Glam Glasgow in our guard spots. And I think that was hurting us as well. And then Taylor Decker, what the heck happened to the Taylor Decker that we drafted? What happened to this guy? No. It's
not even the same guy.
I have it here. Where is it? It was embarrassing. He allowed 2 sacks. He allowed 7 pressures, and he committed 4 penalties. And I think he committed another penalty that was declined because, they didn't need it. But, he looks awful. How did this guy go from one of the best tackles in the draft a couple of years ago coming out of Ohio State? And he comes in his rookie year, he blows up. Yeah, he got injured and stuff, but, what was that? What do you remember what it was? What was the injury?
Shoulder injury.
Okay, your shoulder, it shouldn't be that, he looks terrible. He needs to be replaced. It's that bad. They needed TJ Hawkinson there to help him because he could not block his man. Who is he guarding? Do you know? Who was
it?
Was
in
it
the
Chandler
offseason?
Jones?
Yes.
No.
But in the offseason, they signed Terrell Suggs on top of that, so he was alternating between Chandler Jones and Terrell Suggs. And, my biggest weakness was the O-line play.
Yeah. Wait. Let me just continue.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into it, but I'm going to let you finish.
Yeah, all right. So O-line, all right, that looked so bad. And it just affected everything. It put pressure on Stafford, put pressure on the running backs. Running backs were only able to run 3 yards. And we saw these are talented running backs. Kerryon Johnson's very talented. C.J. Anderson's very talented. Ty Johnson's very talented. I don't think it's the running back's fault. I think it was just the O-line in general. Didn't do their job. But, okay, next thing that was definitely disappointing to me is our defensive line. This was a unit coming into this game and into this season that was going to be our star positional group. It was going to be the shining, glowing spot on our roster. And it didn't look like it. And I understand that we're missing, Davis is probably hit by injuries. He just came back. Snacks kind of just came back too. Trey Flowers kind of just came back. So they haven't really practiced together. Deshaun Hand's not even in. And, in our front 7, Jared Davis isn't in either. So, I understand. But they put almost no pressure on him. And when they did, it was when they were blitzing with, Devin Kennard or, Christian Jones. They did not put the pressure on Kyler Murray. And especially towards the end of the game, he had all day to throw. And you could see when they did put pressure on him and he was scrambling, the dude didn't know what to do, at all. Honestly, Kyler Murray, he did an okay job, but, he didn't look that great, to be honest with you. And, anytime we put pressure on him, he was scrambling for his life and making bad decisions left and right. So
you're running 40 yards backwards.
Yeah. And people were saying coming into the season that our, secondary was not that good last year, but really it was good last year, even without the additions we put this year, because a lot of our sacks from last year, from Romeo Okawara, 7 sacks, and then Devin Kennard, 7 sacks, those were mostly from coverage sacks. They couldn't throw anywhere because our coverage was so tight, and then one of our guys ended up cleaning it up at the end.
Yeah.
So, like, that seemed like what was happening today, too. So, like, our defensive line looked not great at all, honestly. Like, they almost put 0 pressures. Our only sacks came from Devin Kennard, I believe, maybe one more.
We had Tavai get one. It was pretty much our linebackers.
Yeah, our linebackers.
Pretty much our linebackers.
Yeah. So honestly, very, very disappointed in them. And then the third and final thing was just the coaching at the end of the game. And like
that should have been your first thing.
the problem, like, I hate doing it to our coaches because they're still young. Like, he's a young coach, Patricia, and like you could tell he knew he effed up. Like, his face was red. He knew he effed up. He knew he effed up. Everyone in the whole building knew. They're lucky this game wasn't in Detroit. They would have got booed out of the stadium for that tie, for letting them tie. Like, they don't even deserve the tie, to be honest with you.
18-point lead. That's all I was saying yesterday was 18-point lead. I couldn't believe it.
Sick to my stomach. I couldn't even believe that this was what we were watching. I was so confident going into the fourth quarter for the first time as a Lions fan, probably in my life. And like, this is what we get, man. Like, why? Why do we have to do this?
It felt worse than a loss. It definitely felt worse than a loss because of how many points we gave up.
For sure. All right, so why don't you go into your negatives?
All right, well, before I get into the weaknesses, I just have some comments about your weaknesses. So you said the defensive line was a weakness, which I found interesting because I agree in a sense, but here's the problem with that is that our defensive line right now for who we had playing was more built to stop the run. I mean, we had Mike Daniels and Snacks in the majority of the plays. Those guys are 90% run stuffers.
Dude, they're not, man. I'm not following that. Because Romeo Okawara got 7 sacks last year, and Trey Flowers was leading the league in pressures.
Yes, but those are the 2 other guys. So
those are our ends. Those are 2 ends.
Yes, but in the middle, it was purely, run stuffers. Trey Flowers just came back from injury. Okawara, but he's not like a bona fide DN. 7 sacks, like you can find that anywhere on any team for a DN. My thing with that is that, dude, I mean, none of these guys have played together a single snap until like this game. Okay, great. Flowers was out. Yeah, Snacks was dealing with the contract crap. Mike Daniels just got signed. Okawara was the only one at camp. So, I mean, I think it was a weakness for pass defense, 100%. I mean, Flowers, Okawara, dude, like if Mike Daniels and Snacks are taking up the entire interior O-line, you guys are getting one-on-one, maybe occasionally, tight end, like chip, something like that. You need to get pressure. Like, the whole game, I didn't see a single pressure from our D-line. The only pressure we came was adding Kennard to the blitz or adding a cornerback to the blitz because it seemed like they needed 7 seconds to even break the O-line. I mean, I was watching it, and these guys are just standing there. They're not even trying to get around the O-lineman. Yeah, they weren't trying to push the O-lineman to collapse the pocket. But that was like the majority of the game. I thought it was a poor showing for pass, for rushing the passer. I mean, run defense, it was pretty solid. I thought they did a good job. I mean, David Johnson's a freaking animal. But pass defense, as far as our D-line, was definitely just completely pitiful. Yeah, I didn't see a single pressure. You're rushing.
That's mainly what I'm talking about. That's mainly what I'm talking about. And like, I do give them these breaks because of the things you named and like whatever. But like, it's the expectation coming into this season. This is our shining spot on our entire team, and it looked like nothing. It looked like we invested how many? Was it 90 million for Flowers? Was that one?
90 million.
90 million for Flowers, and then we just extended Snacks.
Snacks came out and he said, he was like, this one's on me. He thought he didn't do so hot. And I agree. I mean, they were getting pass breakups. Like, they were banging the ball down at the line of scrimmage, was like, kudos to you. That doesn't happen often for D linemen, but they got 3 pass breakups just on the D line. So at least, that helped a little bit. But dude, we invested so much money on our D line And I agree with you. The pressure was crap. Just
Yeah.
complete crap.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm gonna get into my weaknesses. My
Okay.
first one is the O-line play.
Yeah.
Wow. I seriously did not think we could regress. But the majority of the blame goes to Decker. I mean, when your blind side is not protected, what happens? Stafford gets drilled from behind, fumbles the ball, and the Cardinals recover. I mean, dude, you're allowing a freaking like 250-pound linebacker to wreck your quarterback from behind when
Yeah.
he's not looking. Dude, I thought Stafford had a concussion. He didn't even move at first
Yeah.
when he
Yeah.
hit the
I was
ground.
like, I think Stafford's dead. Like,
Yeah, he didn't react at all. And I was like, okay, like that's when you know, dude, you can't allow a quarterback to get hit like that, let alone Stafford's older and you're on his blind side. He can't
he had a
sense the
broken
pressure.
effing back last year. Like,
Yeah.
what's the number one way to break his back again?
Yeah.
Let your
So
blindside freaking tackle miss every freaking play.
yeah, definitely the biggest weakness for me was our tackles allowing pressure. I mean, Stafford had to keep stepping into the pocket. You shouldn't have to step into the pocket as many times as he did. Decker, obviously, just pitiful, honestly. You could go find anyone to play better than Decker did. And I get it. It's against Chandler Jones. He's a beast. Terrell Suggs, future Hall of Famer. But, dude, you have to at least give your
No
quarterback a chance.
excuse.
Yeah,
No excuse. Look at our division. Look at our
Mhm.
division. What are you gonna do against our division? What are you gonna do when Khalil Mack's coming at you? What are you gonna do when all like, dude, the new guys on Green Bay, Zendarius Smith and Preston Smith. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do like against the Vikings, against their whole entire front seven?
Dude, honestly, the O-line was just pitiful. The Bears, Khalil Mack, Leonard Floyd, that guy, I don't even know his name, 95. No, Akeem Hicks, yes, but
yeah.
they have a new guy that was wrecking
Roquan
Atlanta.
Smith?
No.
Was he a linebacker?
No,
Pretty much their whole defense is stacked. Their whole entire defense is stacked.
Yeah.
And then
Minnesota,
the Packers looked like they're stacked in their first game. And honestly, they added so much like this offseason and last offseason with the cornerbacks they drafted. Their defense is gonna be stacked too. And then we already know the Vikings are stacked on defense.
When you look at Atlanta's offensive line, I see one of the top offensive lines in the league. They have 2 Pro Bowlers on their O-line, Alex Mack and Jake Matthews. The Vikings made them look like little boys. So what do you think is going to happen to Taylor Decker? I mean, Jake Matthews compared to Taylor Decker, night and day. Stafford's hit all day. So Decker either needs some help or he needs to get his crap together.
They need to have more plays of Stafford rolling out of the pocket because that's the only way to save his ass. That's what Rodgers does every time Rodgers makes a big play. That's what he does. That's what Patrick Mahomes does. Dude, Stafford can do it. We see him do it. He's a killer in play action. He's a killer when he rolls out of the pocket. This dude's an assassin. You got to let him loose.
Yeah. Oh, Hunter, I couldn't agree more. So going into that, another weakness. I have more than 3 weaknesses, but I'm going to try and tone it down. I also thought that they played way too conservative in the fourth. I have said this for years. The biggest problem with the Lions is they are not aggressive enough. Dude, you're up 18 points. Why are you running the ball 3 plays in a row? I get it. Let this clock go down. No. I get it. You let the clock go down. You try
it's not working. That's the problem. When it's not working.
Yep. And I hate to do it, but I'm going to compare them to the Patriots because the Patriots last night made the Steelers just look like an absolute joke. Dude, little dump passes here. I get it. You run maybe 2 plays. You have a passing option. For your third, just get a nice completion. You got first down. That's 2 minutes off the clock. For a first down, you just took 2 minutes off the clock. But what are we doing? We're running up the middle, the one thing that wasn't successful the whole game. The Cardinals defense lost Patrick Peterson and
the other guy, their cornerback too. You don't have to say his name.
So they lost their top 2 cornerbacks. Why are you not throwing against the secondary? Why are you trying to run against a good front 7? I don't get it. You're not being aggressive. I understand the whole managing the play clock thing. It's smart. But if you're up 18 points and what you're doing is successful in driving the ball downfield, besides obviously penalties kill you and whatever, fumbles, whatever. But if throwing the ball is working, Stafford's completing his passes, people are catching the passes, you're finding holes in the zone the entire game. Why are you stopping to start run the ball to kill the clock? Throw some screen passes. It's going to be a guaranteed time off the clock, and you potentially could get a big play for a first down. You know, it's not going to be any worse than the freaking run plays. Like the the offensive play calling was too passive for the game. Yeah. When they took the foot off the gas in the fourth quarter, not only did we not score like anything, I think we scored one touchdown at the very beginning and that was it, but it opened everything up for Kyler Murray.
Yeah,
he didn't do crap all game.
Everything.
So
everything.
By being passive in offense, not only did it make our defense look extremely tired, which even Kyler Murray said they looked like they were tired, you know, gassed.
Oh, he said that?
Yeah, he said that because he's like, yeah, they just look tired. And I don't blame them. Yeah, he said that after the game. And I don't blame him because when your defense is on the field for the entire fourth quarter, they're going to be tired. I mean, these guys, it's week one. A lot of these guys are coming off
injuries. Playing the whole game. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole game. Like, dude, it's not the time to keep your defense on the field the whole game, you know? And not only that, you're playing prevent defense. So the field is so spread out on our defense that Kyler was just throwing easy passes because nobody's there. Because we're trying to prevent touchdowns, which in reality, you're supposed to prevent first downs. You're not supposed to just give up and be like, well, we're going to let him drive down the field and hope he makes a mistake, whatever. I mean, he had, one interception? And it was off a dumb pass. Him running. Two. Oh, I thought it was just one to Walker.
Maybe one.
But my point is, Murray's a very accurate quarterback. I mean, the dude is talented, but he's not talented enough to beat our defense. And that's why they didn't do anything for 3 quarters. It wasn't just a couple drives. It was literally the entire game up until the fourth.
Let me make a comment there because that's the okay. It like you're saying, it's a smart move to play conservative towards the end when you're up. And we know Patricia.
No, I wasn't saying play conservative.
Well, hold on. But but we both know it's smart to run the clock down, right? Yeah. And we know Patricia's like bend, don't break defense. That's his big thing, right? So he's like, you know what? We're going to make them not score a touchdown. They need like 2 touchdowns, whatever, okay? I get that. But, okay, like you just said, they couldn't do crap all game. How many times did they punt to us or, just how many times did we have the ball as an offense and we couldn't make it? Honestly, like the amount of times we were shutting them down defensively, we should have been up by like 50 points, not just 18 points, Then we could have played conservatively. But we weren't converting on first downs. We weren't doing anything because we kept trying to run the ball. We kept just trying to make it happen. And then this running back by committee thing that the whole league is doing, I just disagree with it. Like, get your running back into rhythm. Don't let your running back get a good yardage and then throw in C.J. Anderson, who's just, his fresh legs was just sitting on the bench. I don't understand.
Perfect example of that. I'm sorry. I'm going to build off that. Gurley's first 5 carries were for 8, not 80, 8 yards. Yeah. And Malcolm Brown was murdering him. I mean, the dude had a touchdown already. He was out running him. It was like 5 yards a carry compared to 1.5. So what happened? They started giving Gurley back-to-back touches, and then he surpassed Brown. There's certain players in the league that they need to get a rhythm. They need to get going. You feed them more, they go off. Zeke, Gurley, the good running backs, you give them 20 carries. You don't give them a run, take them out, do this, do that. Dude, like, talented players need to be in the game because they only take one play. Yeah, you feed them. I get it. Anderson's good, but he's more of a closer. Bring him in when he's fresh. Let him just completely tear down the deep line.
Let him get into rhythm.
Yeah,
then.
Exactly. So I didn't like that. I thought it was dumb. I mean, Ty Johnson took advantage of his one carry. It was like 6.5 yards. Kudos to him. I really like him. He's young. He's quick as crap. But, dude, Johnson, like, you have to play to the strengths. So if you are going to do that running back by committee crap, you send Carry on a more of outside runs. CJ inside, Ty Johnson more of the Riddick role, or even screen pass stuff like that. I mean, the dude runs a
wheel
4.2.
routes that he was killing in preseason and in the off season. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean they even brought in McKissick. They threw the ball to Bawden.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that could have been a little bit smarter. I mean, I don't get it. You had AP, you had Marshawn Lynch, Bevel. You fed them. Everything.
Yeah.
And your teams were successful on the ground. Our team, I get it. We've never been successful on the ground since Barry, but we have talented running backs. You don't just give each of them a couple carries here, a couple carries there. It's the same thing as wide receivers. The star wide receivers, you have to give them passes to finally, have that one that breaks. You can't just give like AB 4 passes and expect him to just have like a monster game. Feed him the ball a little bit.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know. So
right, what is that? All three of your?
I think I said 3, but
might have been like 10. But okay.
Yeah, I mean, the O-line was crap. The coaching was fine until the fourth. I didn't think we started so hot, but it set us up for later in the game. But the fourth being so passive, I mean, both offensively and defensively, and that timeout, it was so costly to us. That
talking about that, let's just jump into the next section because we're just gonna go. Let's just talk about what actually happened in the game. We talked about positives and negatives, but like what actually happened. So okay, we're dominating them for 3 quarters, dominating. Like what was it? Did they score a point or did they have a field goal before?
They had 2 field goals going into the fourth quarter.
Oh, okay, all right. But we were destroying them. I mean, Stafford was just slinging it anywhere he wanted, and. Danny Amendola seemed like a great security blanket, and he made a mistake.
Oh my!
Later, a stupid mistake, but
just in case you didn't watch the game, it was the play in overtime where was it overtime or
one of the last game?
It was overtime. It was overtime. Yeah. Danny Amendola catches the ball, has a couple yards before,
and then tries to fight for more yards when we're running out of time. Out of bounds. He was right there.
We have 1 timeout. If we kick a field goal, we win the game. And he decides to stay in bounds and try and get 3 more yards instead of just going out. It cost us like 15 seconds in the timeout. The timeout, but in turn cost us about 15 seconds.
Yeah, and he knew it. After that, he was like, "Oh my!" You could tell like his face was like, "I effed myself."
As much as he did through the game, that was just a rookie move, and that cost us big.
So okay. Honestly, I think everybody turned on Patricia and the Lions at the same point, in the fourth quarter, and that was during the timeout, okay? So let's just go through that real quick. So, okay, we're running down the clock. We keep running the ball, running down the clock, all right? And we're still up. They still need like 8 points, right? Mm-hmm. And it looks like it's not going to happen. Like we're going hard. All right. What is it? Third and short at this point, right?
3rd and 5 to be exact.
3rd and 5, and we're running out of what is it? Almost 2 minutes left in the game, and they're out of timeouts.
I think we were a little bit. We had more time than that because I think they had the 2-minute.
Okay, warning. But they didn't have any timeouts left, right? So
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, they didn't. Because I remember, if they would have got that first down, they would have ended the game. They would have just.
No, you're right. Clock. You're right. Because I remember specifically, I'm like, they get this first down, 3 plays, 2 minutes. They ran the clock out.
Yeah. Over. So Stafford snaps the ball. Okay. Kicks out of the pocket to the right. Sees, who does he see? Was it Ty Johnson?
McKissick.
Okay. He sees McKissick wide open. Throws it, gets the first down, gets down. Oh, no. The whistle was blown, and somebody called a timeout before the play was called, okay?
I heard the whistles blow after he had caught the ball, and you saw just 20 yards of space.
Yeah.
And then all you hear is everything whistling.
Yeah. And then it's like, what happened? And you see the replay, and Darrell Bevel's like, and that was it. And you're like, no. And Stafford, you can see Stafford's face, and he's saying, trust me. What the F is going on here? How can you do this, Stafford? Like, that is honestly a slap in the face to Stafford. And he knew it, and he was furious. And I love seeing Stafford.
Offense runs through a quarterback, dude. Let him do his thing. If he didn't like it, he could have called a timeout.
He loved it. He saw it and he's like, boom, we're going, and he got it, and no, it got called back. And you'd think that Bevel or Patricia saw something, right? Oh, and I didn't know this, but apparently timeouts need to go through the head coach. So Patricia,
I think that's new. I think that might be
maybe,
new.
but they said Patricia approved it, so it's also Patricia's fault, and he knew. His face was legit red afterwards.
He's just like
did you see the interview this morning? He said he didn't sleep.
Oh, he didn't sleep? Good.
Did not sleep.
Because
Good.
I was pissed.
I'm like, you better not fucking sleep. I didn't sleep.
This was worse than the Cowboys lost in the playoffs.
No, it's not. But
so before you say anything, I don't know if you read or saw, but Patricia's explanation was the fact that they didn't know if we were going to get a delay of game or what.
Honestly, that was close.
I totally get it, but I can't tell you how many games I've watched in my life where the clock hits 0, they hike the ball, they don't call crap. So
look, the refs didn't look. Yeah.
Not only that, dude, they don't care. Like if it hits 0 and you hike the ball, like it's fine. Stafford's not dumb.
Yeah.
You know,
he's not about to get a delayed game.
Yeah, on a crucial thing. So
yeah.
I thought that was just like we got to come up with something. I didn't like it.
Dude.
Whatever.
That's the worst part. That's the worst part. You know, you take the timeout and you already got it. You better come back with like the best play you've ever thought of in your life, you know? And they come out with like a curl route. A curl route that
no. It was a deep route.
It was a deep curl route. It was like they ran 10. Look, we need like 3 yards. They ran like 10 yards and curled back, okay? And their whole defense was there. They knew exactly what we were doing. It's like, what? Why would dude, we were throwing at them all game. Where was this play from? Stafford should have ran it at that point. Dude, what? I couldn't understand.
They called a couple of deep plays, and they were like play action deep plays. We already knew, I mean, at least I knew, they weren't going to call play action on this play. It would be stupid to call play action on that specific play. It's 3rd and 5. Play action's been killing it. We're not really giving him enough time in the pocket. So to try and do that is just too iffy. So you need to throw the ball around 5 yards. Nothing more, nothing less. You need to get to the first down marker. I watched Galladay and Jones go deep. They weren't curl routes. They were deep balls.
Well, I mean, whoever he threw it to was like 10 yards down the field.
Yeah, I mean,
they were like, curl route. Who was he throwing to?
I think it was Galladay. But they were like, it was just stupid. It was just dumb. You're supposed to have them going across the field, not straight. You know, it was just, I didn't like it. I thought it was a really dumb play. You know, you could have came up with so much stuff. It was just as bad to me because we freaking ended up in a tie as the Super Bowl calling a passing play instead of giving Marshawn Lynch the ball.
Bevel, man.
So that was a huge blunder on his part. I mean, it's heartbreaking. I honestly don't know what's worse. The Jets lost last year, week 1, or this tie.
Yeah.
I know on paper the tie is better, but to lose an 18-point lead because of a crucial coaching mistake by veteran coaches who have won Super Bowls, I mean, that's unexcusable. Like, we brought you guys to build a winning culture and to not make those boneheaded mistakes. So, I mean, you can only say so much about it.
Stafford said it. He said, "Trust me." They didn't trust him. Like, and then Patricia in his interview today, he says, "I trust Stafford 1,000%." Well, you didn't show it. You didn't show it, dude. In the game,
delay of game. They didn't want a 3rd and 10.
Dude, okay, trust Stafford with the delay of game. Trust that he's gonna hike it before, dude. No, like it's just this game shouldn't have. They literally had the game in their hands. Arizona gave them the game, and they tossed it in the trash. They were like, "Bye-bye game, gone." It was the worst. Not the worst. I'm over exaggerating, but dude, I'm still furious. Like, I slept on it. Honestly, we were gonna record this podcast. I was gonna tell you let's record after, but I was like, "Nah, man, I'm so furious."
I was upset. I couldn't stop talking about it.
Yeah. I was like sick to my stomach. Honestly, I didn't even watch the Patriots game. I was like, I'm not watching any game after this. I'm just disgusting. All right.
I do have one comment. I know we said the strengths, the strengths and the weaknesses, coaching stuff, this, that. But another big thing was Jamal Agnew. I don't know if
Dude,
you
oh
were
my
paying attention to
God.
that, but it was
Stephen Logan part 2.
no.
Stefan Logan.
Dude, okay, first time he gets the ball. He's going towards the sideline on a punt return and decides to spin backwards and just
Oh
get
my
completely obliterated. So right there, it could have got a huge game, cost us a couple yards. I was like, all right, it's Agnew. He was all pro his rookie year. Last year, hurt his knee, whatever. Dude, next time, fumbles a freaking ball, loses the ball on.
That's not. He's known for that too. He bobbles it a lot. He bobbles it. He hardly he doesn't catch it securely like ever. This guy to me he's Stefan Logan part 2 because teams do this. Like one guy gets like a big game. They have like 2 punt returns for a touchdown, and then he's their punt returner for like 4 more years, and he doesn't do crap after that. Dude, get this guy off the team. I was waiting for the notification like Lions cut Jamal Agnew. Put Danny Amendola in for it.
Yeah,
he's at least
it's
safe.
It's not going to happen. I mean, I don't see them cutting Agnew, but dude, it was loss of yards, fumbled, muffed. He had one for like 10-yard gain or something like that. But dude, like he was taking the ball to the end zone on kick returns and only getting like 15 yards. Like it was a very bad showing. Bad showing, and it cost us big. So I know we mentioned everything else, but that Agnew's play, him alone, cost us a lot.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm really glad you brought that up.
Field position is the biggest name in the game. I mean, if you're not playing
he gave them
for
free
field
points.
position,
There's free points for them. There's guaranteed a field goal unless they turn it over. So it's like he gave them free points.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was this drive or not, but I'm pretty sure we had them on a 3 and out, and that's what happened. On the fumble. So anyways, I just wanted to bring that up because everything else kind of overshadow it because everyone looks at the last mistake and not mistakes throughout the game because obviously it's coaching, the timeout, whatever. But dude, Agnew's play definitely killed us on the special teams.
100%. Yeah, very disappointing. Okay, all right. Let's talk about going into the future of the season. I guess okay. See, the reason this loss hurt, or not loss. It's not even a loss, but I'm considering it a loss. But because it should have been a win. Like right away, once we got our schedules, we were like, all right, Cardinals, that needs to be a win because look at our next our next games. All right, Chargers, who looked so dominant this week. Okay, and just in general,
I don't know, dude. They had to go to overtime to cap it off.
Dude, I don't care. They're really good. Their defense is phenomenal. And
I agree. Chargers are really good. One of my favorite teams. So
yeah, dude, if we hardly put up points against the Cardinals with all the opportunities that we had, what are we going to do against the Chargers? And what are they going to do against our defense? That our defensive line came and put pressure on the Cardinals. They're the worst team in the league last year. Like they got Kyler Murray, but that doesn't improve their whole team. Like I don't understand. Okay. After the Chargers, the Eagles, the Eagles are just, they came back against Washington. They lose. No, they're not going to lose, okay, because they're freaking good. And, Jim Schwartz has a vendetta against us. So, they're going to play, like, at their most optimum level. Like, honestly, that is a booked loss in my, if I were to bet any game in the whole season, I would bet that one and Kansas City. And Kansas City's the week after. I really would, because Jim Schwartz is going to F us up. He beats us every time he faces us. But anyway, okay, Kansas City Chiefs. If we let Kyler Murray, come back 18 points, Patrick Mahomes, we could be up 80, and he's going to come back. Dude.
Yeah, dude.
No, okay? Green Bay looked dominant against Chicago, and Chicago effed us up the past 2 years. And you know what? Aaron Rodgers, he only looked good in one drive, but that one drive, he looked phenomenal. So, no, okay? I'm just pissed off at that, too. Then the Vikings, who, yeah, like you said, the Vikings look dominant, okay, against the Falcons. And what is Taylor Decker going to do? He's literally going to, they're going to have to freaking, make his gravestone during the game because he's going to be buried after it, okay? Then after that, we have a couple easier games, easier. It's the Giants and the Raiders, which probably are our next easiest two on the schedule. And those aren't even easy. I don't even know what to do. Then
When it
after
comes
that,
to the Lions, there's no such thing as an easy
as an
game.
easy schedule. No.
Yep.
Well, okay. Well, this Cardinals game should have been the one. So it's just so disappointing. So okay. So what do you think is going to happen now that we tied the Cardinals? What do you think is going to happen? How do you think we're going to do in our next 5 games? Chargers, Eagles, Kansas City, Green Bay, Vikings.
Dude, honestly, our first 6 games were definitely by far the toughest 6 game stretch in our schedule. I mean, the Cardinals they were not a tough team, but it's the week one. There's always upsets week one, those teams that are crappy teams, they show out and then they freaking go away for the rest of the season. It's going to be really rough. I'm going to be honest with you. There's plus sides, though, and I'm going to name a couple of them. The Chargers, they have no Derwin James, which, I mean, Derwin James is freaking top 3 safety in the league. Dude's a freak athlete. That's a huge loss to their team. With the Melvin Gordon situation going on, they're utilizing Eckler in the passing game. And, I mean, we hold running backs to, like, virtually
We're not gonna in the passing game. They hardly use David Johnson in the passing game, which was a huge mistake by Arizona.
Yeah,
I don't know what they were doing. But Jelani Tavai, he's not a coverage linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Davis if he comes back, he's not a coverage linebacker. Christian Jones, no. The only ones like Jalen Reeves-Maybin and you trust
got burnt
him
by David Johnson.
yeah, you're gonna trust him against Phillip Rivers and Austin Eckler, and then on top of that, they got Hunter Henry and Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, and get the f out of here, man, dude. No,
yeah,
man.
So I mean, from my perspective, the Derwin James thing and the Melvin Gordon, it sets us up to play a little differently, which is nice. But if we're not aggressive, and I'm just gonna say this for all of them because it'll be the same. If we're not aggressive offensively throughout the entire game, all of these games, you're gonna lose, dude. Bosa, Melvin Ingram, Casey Hayward, Desmond King. These guys have freak athletes on their defense. You let up at all, you're screwed. You're not going to be able to run the ball against them like 3 times in a row. Phil Rivers, he's a beast, dude. He's definitely underrated. I mean, the dude can put up 30 points in any game. Doesn't matter what defense they're versing, whatever. So it's going to be a tough game, but it's a home opener. That's always a positive. I mean, on paper, it's not looking good. I probably would chalk up a loss, but I'm hopeful because it's a home opener and I'm going also, which is going to be pretty hype. So if the crowd can be freaking a factor in it and they kind of, get everything going and our coaching staff looks at last game and is like, damn, what was working? When we were aggressive, we're going down the field. We're not running 3 times in a row. Trust Stafford. Like he plays against Xavier Rhodes. He plays against beast guys his entire career.
Yeah. Kyle Fuller, Anthony Barr's coming at him. Dude.
And he still wins those games. Just let him go off. Let him do his thing. So they need to unleash Stafford. That's a key. If you don't unleash Stafford and you're not aggressive, 100% we're losing to the Chargers. But I'm hoping, home opener, there's a lot of fans going. There's still hope because we're not 0-5. We're not 1-6, whatever it is. Like, we're 0-0-1. Still early. Haven't had a loss. I think that one could go either way, but it's definitely going to be whichever coach is the most aggressive.
Okay. So, all right. I agree with you there. And, the Lions last year, that obviously they beat the Patriots. Everybody brings that up. They swept Green Bay, and we versed Aaron Rodgers. Like, it's not like we definitely have the talent to win, and we added so much this offseason. Like, we are so much better on paper than last season. Mm-hmm. So, and then the addition of Darrell Bevell is probably the most key. And, he looked way better than Jim Bob Cooter, even though we tied and they were bad in the fourth quarter. But still, so we'll see. You're right. You're right. Any of these, we have the potential to possibly win. But what's the more probable? We're not. You know what I mean? The more probable outcome is we're not, and that's very disappointing. So honestly, I hate being the doom and gloom guy talking about the end of the world all the time. But dude, our season's over after this tie. It really is, because I could see us going And like, I don't mean it like it's literally over. Obviously, on week 10, I'll be rooting. I'll be like, oh, we need 2 wins, and then we need the
Yeah.
Packers to lose this game. You know what I mean? Yeah, of course I'm going to do that, and I'm going to be super excited rooting for them and hoping that they, make the wild card or win the division or something crazy. But like, just based off this performance and their historical past, I can literally see them winning in like an upset of one or two of these next games, but then start the season 2-3-1, and you're not going to make the playoffs doing that in a division like ours, where the
Yeah.
Bears look so dominant, and they lost the Packers, who looked even more dominant, and then the Vikings look incredible. Like, I don't. There's just like I.
So here's the thing. Our team is not a team that's going to come in the second half of the season, win 7 out of the 8. I totally agree with you. The first 6 games, like I said, are the hardest ones. We need to win 3 of those games. If we don't win 3 of those games, we are going to have such a hard time to get into the playoffs. I mean, theoretically, any team can beat any team. But who's coming? Who's showing up each week? Who's freaking the more aggressive? Whose play calls are on point? Who's executing? We're not doing so hot. So,
Yeah.
I mean, right now, you lost the Cardinals. That was just embarrassment. If we don't come out and beat at least one of the next 3 games, we're screwed. Let alone we have to beat Green Bay and Minnesota because they're in the NFC North. Yeah. So if we can go around 3 wins within our first 6 games, I definitely think there's still a chance that tie could potentially have a big implication and playoff berth and whatever, because obviously it's not a loss, but it's also not a win. So, yeah, I think the Eagles is going to be a very difficult game. Eagles going to be a very difficult game. I think Carson Wentz did not play so hot. Their offense wasn't looking so good in the first half. Defense, I mean, they have so many playmakers. It's ridiculous. It's going to come down to who's executing more. I know you said it's a definite loss, but, I mean, Wentz is not the same player he was before his injury. When he was on that freaking MVP run, I was like, this guy's the best quarterback in the league right now.
But well, that's why I didn't say anything about Wentz. I didn't bring up Wentz at all. I think we're going to lose because Jim Schwartz is going to shut our team down. Because he literally, I'm serious, he beat us with the Bills when they were like awful. Like they weren't anything. Dude, I think that he does a great job as defensive coordinator. I think he's incredible. I mean, like clearly he won the Super Bowl with the Eagles, and their team, like they've added players. Like who did they lose? You know what I mean? Like their defense is incredible, and they don't have to blitz. They're incredible with their front four. And
offensive line is tremendous. Top tight end of the league. You have Deshaun who tore it up. Alshon, Jordan Howard.
We couldn't run against the Cardinals, and we had to punt it a million times. Like that's what's going to happen against the Eagles, and I think that their offense is good enough to score like 10, 15, even 20 points against us. And then like I don't know. I don't want to talk about this. We're way too early to talk about the Eagles right now. We need to talk about the Chargers. So like, all right, real quick, what's your final prediction scoring wise for the Chargers?
Ooh, scoring wise, I'll say a 29-25 win by the Lions.
Okay.
29-25, and I'm saying that because it's home opener, man. Home crowd.
Right. I'm gonna go with 35-21 loss. So I'm gonna go with Chargers winning 35 and we have 21. And I think that that majority of that 21 points is gonna be garbage points.
Okay.
Unfortunately, but I hope you're right, and I hope I'm 100% wrong, dude. Like
someone's got to be the devil advocate, right?
I'm so happy if we beat the Chargers. It'll be just like the Patriots last year. Like I'm like, oh, the season's done. We beat the Patriots. I'm like, Super Bowl.
And then they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think that's a good place to stop. We're at an hour right now, so I think that was a good episode. Good job. All right. All right. So we're gonna be here all season long, win or loss. Even if we start the season 0-8, we're gonna be here going through it. Think of it as Lions therapy. We are the real Lions fans, and we will always be there for our team through the thick and thin. We love it, and we all got to stick together through these hard times.
Go Lions.
Go Lions.